After watching this video, you've got to be thinking to yourself, you know what, the Electric Viking, he doesn't like China very much. I mean, he's not very nice about China. Well, guess what? Yesterday, a bunch of idiots were commenting on one of my videos saying, oh, he's so pro-China, he's so pro-China. This is why it's probably not a good idea to even bother reading the comments. Unfortunately, I make so many videos that most people don't see them all. So they're not really getting a proper perspective on the reality here, which is I report the facts, not the feelings. 4,000 dealerships are going to close in China this year, or have closed in China this year, says an automotive trade group. Here is why that's happening. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. You probably want a simple answer to this question, and there is some relatively simple answers. Some of them are massive competition. Many dealerships are willing to sell at a loss to get market share. Others are that, to be honest, people don't want legacy automaker cars anymore. I mean, why would you want to get a Nissan or, to be honest, a Mercedes-Benz when you can get a Zeekr, or you can get many other models of car, Nio, Xpeng. There are so many models that are just, we're talking the best technology, the best range, the fastest charging, even the best luxury. I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. You need to go to China. If you don't believe me, please keep your opinion to yourself unless you've tried them. If you haven't tried them and you don't actually know what you're talking about, then maybe keep that opinion to yourself, because it's not really objectively true, is it, until you've actually tried them. I know that sounds a little bit arrogant, but I mean, honestly, if you got a comment on the flavor of a Mars bar or the flavor of a chocolate bar, you've never tasted that chocolate bar before, everyone would think you're absolutely mentally insane, wouldn't they? Yeah? So if you're going to start saying, oh, Chinese EVs are crap, and there are so many people saying this stuff, Australians, Americans, people from Europe are still saying this stuff. They've never, ever driven one, never sat in one, never even seen one in the flesh, let alone actually know the technology in them. Yeah, when you go to China, trust me, sit in the Xiaomi, have a look at a Xiaomi car, and then you tell me if you really think a BMW is better than that car. Tell me if you really think that's true. Sit in a luxury, sit in a premium model Zeekr, and you tell me if you really think a BMW is better than that car. Honestly, I can tell you now, you're probably not going to do that. But that means that these automotive dealerships all across China that are selling Hondas and Nissans and Toyotas, vehicles that people don't want anymore, they're internal combustion vehicles, they're old 2-litre turbocharged engines, right? That, guess what? Costs more to register, costs more to actually continue to pay the yearly registration fees as well. They're not in demand anymore. The Nissan Sylphy was the most popular car a couple of years ago in China. It was the number one selling car. In fact, for 4 straight years it was. Now, it's not even in the top 10. That's how fast things are changing. About 4,000 franchise dealerships will shut this year amid an intensifying price war in the new car market and shrinking demand for petrol, diesel, gasoline-powered vehicles in China. The China Automobile Dealers Association said this. This is not YouTube bullshit coming from the China Observer, or these ridiculous YouTube websites that just make stuff up. This is coming directly from the China Automobile Dealers Association. The Deputy Secretary General of the trade group made the forecast in a video posted on the association's website on the 26th of November. The number of stores slated to close is much higher than in recent years, when an average of 2,000 franchise dealerships closed in 2021, 2022, and 2023. So we're going from 2,000 a year to 4,000. That's a big difference. Most of the dealerships that have gone out of business this year were stores selling petrol, gasoline-powered vehicles. Legacy automakers, right? It is a fact. They're legacy automakers. We know that because, I mean, look at the top 20 brands in China or models in China when it comes to EVs or plug-in hybrids. The top 20. None of them this year are legacy automakers. According to a survey released by the association in August, 51% of car dealerships were unprofitable in the first half of the year. 51%. Only 35 were profitable, 35%, and the rest broke even. So 14% made nothing, 35% made a profit, and 51% of all car dealerships across all of China made a loss. That is crazy, because the automotive industry in China this year has grown. It's grown. It's grown partly due to incentives. That is true. The Chinese government are trying to get people out of internal combustion cars. They're incentivizing them to trade in their old internal combustion cars for a new EV or plug-in hybrid. But still, I mean, wow. The survey shows that because of a fierce price war, new car sales caused an average loss of $245,000 for each dealership during a 6-month period. In other words, on average, dealerships lost $500,000 this year. On average. Remember, these dealerships, they're not what you guys know in America. They don't look like these big flashy dealerships in America. That's not the Chinese way of doing it. The dealerships in China are small. They're not like these massive flagship stores like we have in Australia as well. They're much smaller than that. So making a loss of $500,000 for the year, do that a couple of years in a row, you're out of business, right? That's it. That's your dream over. The economic challenges facing Chinese retailers have prompted some European automakers to provide financial support to some of their dealers. In fact, they've provided hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's come from BMW has confirmed that. Numerous automakers have confirmed they are propping up their dealerships in China with loans. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of loans. Do you think those will be paid back? I think it's highly, highly unlikely. Fueling the price war is a surplus of vehicle production capacity in China, a massive surplus. There is way too many car factories in China. Think about it, right? If BYD and XPeng and all these other car brands, Zeekr, go and are building all these factories every year, and they are, what does that mean? That means another factory somewhere else has to go out of production, go out of business. I mean, this is a zero-sum game here. So there is way too much automotive manufacturing capacity in China. Apparently, China still has 34,000 franchised car dealerships. So that means 4,000 represents what? About 15% of dealerships. That's a lot, considering 2,000 have gone down in the previous 3 years in every year, and then 4,000 this year. So 15% of car dealerships are going bankrupt. But it also means that if they have 34,000 franchised car dealerships and 51% of them making a loss, that means what? Like more than 17,000 car dealerships in China made a loss of $500,000 each. More than 17,000 car dealerships in China made a loss of $500,000 each this year. Those numbers are insane. I mean, how is this happening? Well, it's called the greatest disruption ever. The automotive industry has been disrupted. And you know what? The media are bullshitting to you and telling you it's not happening. It's not happening. You know, stick your head in the sand. There's no problems, there's no problems, there's no problems. Just stick it in really, really hard in the sand and you'll be fine until someone comes up behind you. And as vehicle supply continues to surpass demand, more dealerships will be forced to stop operations in the future. The China Automobile Dealers Association said this: as vehicle supply continues to surpass demand, more dealerships will be forced to stop operations in the future. Now you can guess which dealerships those will be.